put those cameras in. Let's put those cameras on. Come on in, come on in. I'm excited to see all of you. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me know where you're from so I can give you a shout out, Welcome to the second day of the 5-day Get Wealthy Challenge. In the chat, let me know where you're from so that I can give you a shout out. I'm excited. I got to give our VIP members who were in the VIP session with me a shout out and let you know. So let's see who's here. Diamond, wonderful, from Texas. I love it. Let's see. Beauty Talks with Deb, Florida. All right. Peter Romans from Cincinnati. Okay. Lisa from Philly. Valerie from Los Angeles. Sandra from California in the house. All right. Southern Cal. Anita, Anita, that's the ambassador, says second day, let's go. That's right. Jacqueline, good evening from New York. Chantrell from Raleigh, North Carolina. Come on in, get on in here, ladies, because who's ready to go higher? Who's ready to go next level? Because it is the second day of our 5-day Get Wealthy Challenge. In the chat, Denitra from Southfield, Michigan. Girl, that's where I got my start at. In fact, we left Dearborn and went to Southfield, Fidelity Investment. So good to see you. Millie Baptiste from New Jersey. Crystal from Bowie. Yeah, that's right. Day two. Let's go. So I hear somebody maybe on. Let's see if we can't mute everybody. Let's get ready. Great conversation in the VIP tonight. And by the way, there's still time to level up in VIP. Let me just share with you a little of what that is about. We're going to be doing some live coaching tomorrow night based on the insight and the principles that you're going to be learning over this week. And what you're going to learn is that you must make the shift from an income to a wealth mindset. So in the chat, if we can put the VIP, if you're ready to level up, you are going to be able to come in 30 minutes before and gain insight. You get a workbook. We do exercises. We really get an opportunity to spend a little bit more intimate time with you, because I know this week is going to go fast. But what I want you to know is that if you apply the concepts that I'm sharing with you, that you will fundamentally change your financial trajectory. The other thing I want to tell you as well is that we are opening the doors to our new WealthyU Ignite program. And in order to join that program, you must apply. We have several programs. Let me just be honest with you about that. And we want to make sure you get the right fit. So if we could put the application link in the chat right now. Listen, if you don't know if you're going to go, if you don't know if you want to join or not, just apply so that you can get in line, get in queue. We can connect with you and make sure that you have the right fit. So I want to make sure that we're opening the doors tomorrow. If you just go to that link, bit.ly WealthyU apply, and apply to our program so that we can make sure that not only you have a great experience this week, but also for those of you who are saying, I'm in, I know that I need something different. I already feel the energy in this place. I want to change my circle. I'm ready for a transformation. I'm going to be one of the women who are one of the million that we're on a mission to help you achieve, to get to your first 6 figures, your first 7 figures and beyond. So if that is you, I want to make sure that you apply. Yeah, that WealthyU apply is exactly the link that you want to go to. And for those of you who want to up level into VIP and really make this week one in which you can already begin to accelerate, so that when we open these doors, you're ready to run through. That's exactly what we want you to do. So who is ready for day 2? If you're ready for day 2, just put yes, yes, yes. I'm ready for day 2. But for those of you who, is there anyone here who if it's your second day, put second day in the chat. Put day 2 in the chat. If it's day 2 for you, put day 2. All right, Shanta, day 2, Tashima, day 2. Yeah, all my VIPs are day 2. Sabrina, day 2. Valerie, day 2. Cassandra, day 2. Antoinette, day 2. Here's all I'm going to say to you is that for those of you who are going to lean in for these next 5 days with me, one of the things I promise to you is that you will fundamentally change how you're thinking about the possibility, and you're going to make this shift not only to wealth, but begin to live a wealthy lifestyle. And that's what tonight's training is going to be about. So day 2, Lisa, day 2, we got a lot of day 2ers, but for those of you, if it's day 1, tell me if it's day 1 for you. Let me see if that's you in the chat. Because if it is day 1 for you, just in the chat, put day 1. What I want you to know is that we have replays. And those replays are going to be up until Sunday night. But guess what? If you the VIP, yeah, you know me, those replays are going to be out. So Broody Talk says day 1. Portia Wills says day 1. Crystal Hera says day 1. And I love this because Portia is already in WealthyU. And that's the other thing I want you to know about the women in WealthyU. They show up and they show out. They're not going to miss anything. This Get Wealthy challenge is for everyone, but it's just something about being in the circle. So I want to welcome all of you who it's day 1. Trina, let's see, Latriana, day 1. Crystal Harold, day 1. Glad to see Crystal back in the fold again, because there's just something about being in the sister circle with others who are like-minded. So let me just take you on. Well, you know what? The first thing I am going to do, however, is who's ready to hear who our grand prize winner. And if you're a VIP, know that we're going to be giving away all kinds of gifts. I'm going to ask my husband if he can grab me in a Purse of Your Own book and some of our other little goodies, our workbook, our day timer. He's like, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Now you're going to ask me to do this. But who's ready? If you're ready to hear who our grand prize winner is, in the chat, put yes, I'm ready to hear. Because I want to share that with you, because we love sharing the wealth. But most of Janice says yes, Ruby says yes, Latriana says yes, Crystal says yes, yes, Kat says yes, Shanta Hart says yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So all this week, we're going to be giving away some goodies, my books and our wine glasses, and we have day planners. But tonight we're giving away one of my favorite books that I've written, A Purse of Your Own, published by Simon & Schuster, and a nice little wine glass to go with it. And so our little wine glass doesn't get crushed, we're even going to give you one of these digital WealthyU bags. And who's ready to hear, drum roll please, the day 1 winner is Kat. Is that Thus? You are our grand prize winner. Let's give Kat a round of applause. I hope you have your camera on, Kat. That's right. You're the grand prize winner. So we're going to make sure we ship these right out to you. This book will be autographed for you. And the neat thing about this book really is most of the insights that you hear us talk about are based on, and our curriculum for one of our programs is based on the book, A Purse of Your Own. So there are more prizes to come. So again, level up, get into VIP, make a small investment, and know that you're going to get a huge return on investment. So let me just walk you through what the next 5 days are going to be, the next 4 days. So last night we covered wealth secret number 1. And that was the attitudes and habits that self-made millionaires make. Wealthy people think, act, and do things differently. Tonight, we're going to get where the rubber meets the road and really talk about what it means to lead a wealthy lifestyle and how the wealthy even are intentional about where their resources are spent. And then tomorrow, I'm going to really help you understand how important is to understand that it is in economic downturns when you have the greatest opportunities. And typically that is not what we're taught. That's when we do the opposite. And then Thursday, I'm really going to be sharing with you how so many of the women in WealthyU using our framework have been able to accelerate their financial growth. And in just a few short years, have their investments and their portfolios and their net worth grow. For many, what it took them 10, 20 years to achieve, they're able to achieve that in a few years. And speed is what is important. And then finally, Friday, you're going to hear from women just like you who were sitting in the audience and now are on their way, have applied the blueprint, the wealth blueprint, and are now on their way to accelerating their financial growth. So who's ready to go further tonight? Let's see, I'm going to watch the 5-day challenge on YouTube on my Roku. There's no live chat on my TV. I got you. Okay, so yeah, let's give Kat a congratulations. So now, what I want to talk to you all today about is the second secret. Who's ready to hear about the second secret? So secret number 2 is really about strategy, right? Secret number 2 is really about strategy. And I just want to share with you all how I discovered secret number 2. You know, while I was, really focused on being successful, and successful oftentimes meant, living in a bigger house, driving nicer cars, having nicer things. What I really learned from being around wealthy people was something that I mentioned to you yesterday, and that is that real wealth is quiet. Like wealthy people, they manage their money much differently than how we manage our money. And I talked a little bit about that yesterday. And the exercise for yesterday was really having a wealth mindset. And so what I want you to understand is what I discovered about wealthy people was while we were buying things, they were investing in things, right? So the first thing that I discovered about wealthy people was that, yes, their children got great educations, but oftentimes their children didn't have any debt in school, because what do you think they did differently? Or what did they have that we didn't have? In the chat, if you know what it is, how can somebody go to school, live in these great frat houses and sorority houses and have no debt? How do you think that happens? What did they have that you didn't? In the chat, let me know. Let me just see if you understand what they have that we didn't. Wealthy families, that's right. What else do you think they had? What else do you think they had? Financial education, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Scholarship, trust funds, that's exactly right. So the fact is that for wealthy people, what they had and what we didn't have was they had already, that's right, generational wealth, knowledge of different financial plans. That's right. Parents had already had things, so they weren't starting from scratch. Oftentimes what I say is that we start from scratch. But here's the other thing that I began to understand about wealthy people that I want to share with you. And I'm going to share my full screen now, just so all of you can see this. This is secret number 2, and that they had a different strategy, right? They had a different strategy. And so as a result, they ended up in a different place, right? So strategy, what we had, we were given the middle class mindset. And while I was trying to buy my first little car, and then I ended up with an auto payment, what they were doing is when I was in the investment company, they were investing in Toyota and they were investing in stock, and now it would be investing in Tesla. While we're having those 400 channels, and this is what's interesting about the really wealthy, it's not like they feel like they've got to spend their money on it. They're watching. Here's what I want you to understand. They're watching what we're spending all our money in, and they're investing in it, right? So rather than having 500 channels, they're investing in Comcast stock, or they're investing in Verizon stock. I want you guys to get this, because this is secret number 2. Rather than shopping at those discount malls and those outlets, they're investing in companies like VF. Have you ever been to a North Face outlet and really felt like you were getting a deal? Well, the fact is, North Face is owned by VF Corporation and one of the most profitable companies ever. Instead of spending, we spend so much, the middle class spends so much on grooming and all these different products, rather than just buying the most expensive products, they're investing in Procter and Gamble, which makes a lot of those products. Rather than running up credit cards or feeling like, oh, I've arrived, I've got a black card, I've got a gold card, and just for the pleasure of having that, you're paying $600 a year and I'm not even counting the interest. They're investing in American Express. So what I want you guys is to look at that chart. And when you look at the middle class mindset and you look at the wealth mindset, what is the difference in the chat? What do all of those things on the wealth side have in common? Anybody want to guess? Okay, that's right, Kat. That's right. So the second strategy that I want you all to understand is that when you're expending your resources, you want to make sure that those resources are paying you a return on investment. So here's the other question I have for all of you. Were any of those companies that you understood? That's right. That's the other thing, Joyce, is not only did those companies make name brands that you know, but most of those companies paid a return on investment. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Gloria says investments. Crystal Harold says the long game. I don't know who's on that Google phone, but they own it. Cynthia says investments. Dee says, okay, hello. Peter says assets. Joyce says dividends. Tyra says assets. Return, Gloria says return on investment. The right side is build more wealth. So here I am, this young, impressionable woman who didn't come from wealth, but I began to see patterns. right? In the chat, put patterns, right? That's what you need to begin to look at. Write patterns in the chat. So we need to stop looking at what people do and look at what they acquire. And that's exactly what your assignment is for today. Your assignment, but you know what? Before I share with you what your assignment is, what I want to show you is someone who came to one of these challenges, finally began to understand the shift. You guys ready to see someone who made the shift and applied what she learned in WealthyU, and now her life has fundamentally changed? Who's ready to see someone who went through this exercise I'm asking you to do today, and her life fundamentally changed? Watch.
I was faced with needing to replan my life, and I knew at the age that I was, it needed to involve some serious catching up from a financial standpoint. So the first thing I did was sign up for your master class. I never forget that week, I found $700 in my budget that I was essentially just wasting. All kinds of stuff that honestly I did because I could. The first thing I did after finding the $700 was to open a stash account. Still a little nervous about stocks. And so it was in there with, you know, the hair appointment money and the money that I had allocated for other stuff. And over time, I started increasing the contribution on automatic to those stocks. I was beginning to use the knowledge that I was gaining through WealthyU. Those were the strategies I put into play. I felt like they were easy for me to implement. I also changed my aggression mindset with my 401k mutual fund. The next month, I was blessed to have some stock options that were maturing and that I could exercise. I took that money and wiped out the credit card debt I had. And then that following month, that October, I paid off my car. And lo and behold, I had $2,500 in my budget.